Welcome back, pre-algebra students. Let's wrap this stuff up. Please make sure you get everything down in your notes that I write down. And when you come to class after this video, you are ready to do the homework just like you did in your notes. Here we go. We're on the back side. This is part 2 of subtraction with integers. So on the last side, you saw how we want to change everything to addition. So let's work this out right here. We're going to find the difference. Difference means subtract. All right, 3 minus 5. Let's change that to addition. 3 plus. It's minus positive 5, so it's 3 plus negative 5, right? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. I still want you to write it down like this for now. 3 plus negative 5. Remember the squares? You got 3 blues, you got 5 reds. What's left? 2 reds. Negative 2. Voila. There's 1 down. 4 to go on this line right here. Negative 10 minus 14. Change that thing to addition. We don't like that subtraction. Negative 10 plus negative 14, right? It's minus positive, so we make it plus negative. It's the same thing. The answer to that question is negative 24. You can use the number line if you like. You can use the squares if you like. Remember the squares we did in class with the blues and the reds, which is my personal preference, the squares. Whichever one works for you, but we should be able to add these problems without a calculator, I'd hope. Number 3, if we change that to addition, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's make him go away. And back to my pen, there we go. 17 minus negative, so change it to plus positive. Boom, boom, there it is. Add those numbers together, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that would be 31 for you right there. 17 plus 14, 31. Negative 7 minus negative 11. All right, another crazy one. Negative 7. Change it to addition plus. Okay, it's minus negative, so we make it plus positive. Boom, boom. 2 marks on your paper. So important that you learn how to do this. Negative 7. 7 reds, 11 blues. Remember that? What are you left with? You're left with 4 blues, or 4 positive for you. Okay, let's talk about distance now. Again, make sure you're hitting pause as you need to understand what it is we're trying to do. Let's look at what happens in distance if we try to do distance. Something strange happens. I need to slide this down. Sorry about that. I didn't have quite enough space, and I want to make sure I can get everything down there. That's going to work out just fine like that. Let me lock this back in place. And we're ready to rock and roll. Here we go. If we find distance, think about distance. If I ask you how far something is, distance, write this down. I'm writing it down. Distance is always positive. If I said how far is something from something else, you would give me a positive number. Do you remember something else that we talked about that's always positive? Some of you do, I can tell. Absolute value. I say I can tell because of things that you've said in class. Absolute value is always positive too. So when we talk about distance, we have to find the difference of these two numbers, but we have to have a positive answer. So let me show you how this would work. If I wanted the distance between negative 1, say negative 1 is right there, and negative 7, which is right there, what you would do is you would subtract those two numbers. But in the event that you came up with a negative number, you would actually make it positive. This is how we show that in math. Put an absolute value sign right there, please. It's negative 1 minus negative 7. And close the absolute value. All right, now on this line, I'm going to let you do a little shortcut here. Boom, boom. And I should see it just like that. I should see the 2 marks plus positive 7. All right, underneath it, absolute value of negative 1 plus 7. Negative 1 plus 7, keep the absolute value sign there, is 6. And the absolute value of 6 is 6. Okay, so when we talk about distance, you have to use absolute value because that's the way that we make things always positive. Let's look at number 6. Negative 8. How far is negative 8 from 8? Negative 8 minus 8, put it in absolute value. Let's look at it down here. Let me show you in red. All right, negative 8 is 5, 6, 7, 8 is right here. Okay, that red mark. Positive 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 is over here. So you can see that it's actually 16 spaces apart. But watch what happens here. If I just subtract negative 8 minus 8, boom, boom, I get negative 16. But we don't say that something is negative 16. We could use a negative sign to say direction, not what they're asking here. It's 16. Distance is always a positive answer. Let's look at 7. Distance between negative 4 and 6. There's negative 4. There's 6. All right, negative 4 minus 6. Boom, boom. Change that thing to addition. Negative 10. But the absolute value of negative 10 is positive 10. And it should be written like that. Let's wrap this up here with Mora dug a hole 2 feet deep to transplant a shrub. The shrub stands 3 feet above the ground. Write an expression to find the distance from the bottom of the hole to the shrub. What's the distance? Let's draw a picture. Whenever we can draw a picture to represent what's happening here. Would you draw that? That represents the ground. I'll be looking for this when I check your notes. Put a little area that represents a hole and put a negative 2. That means 2 feet below the ground. Ground level is 0. So they plant the shrubbery. The shrubbery grows to 3 feet. Positive 3. So this says, write an expression to find the distance from the bottom of the hole to the top of the shrub. Well, distance means its absolute value. The shrubbery starts at negative 2, or you could say negative 2 minus positive 3, or you actually could do 3 minus negative 2 as well. Change this to addition, boom, boom. Negative 5, right? Negative 2, 2 reds, 3 reds, gives me 5 reds. But since it's distance, we have to say 5. It's 5, we're talking feet here, 5 feet from the bottom of the shrub to the top of the shrub. So there you have it, a nice little application. This is so important that you can quickly change subtraction to addition and then do the addition in your head. We're going to spend some time on that and expect some exit tickets that show that. So please take these videos seriously to learn. Get all your notes down and bring them back to class. And we'll talk to you soon.